Is this numerically the biggest team, do you think, that you've run in the race?
I would think so. If we run all 5, I think it will be 4 for Godolphin and 1 for Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed. I think it is the largest number numerically, yes.
We'll start with Permian because he's won the best trial. I think he's going to go in underestimated again here.
I think he's got a great chance. He's got a beautiful pedigree. He's by Teofilo, and he's a grandson of Mies, the great mare. So I think he's got a great chance. And I think the one thing about Permian, which I love, is the fact that he was second at Epsom, and then he improved to win the Newmarket Stakes so well, and then he improved again to win the Dante. So he's a horse on a rise, and I think that he'll come here in great shape and really deliver a good account of himself.
And he beat Ben Battle, of course. I love that horse. I got the impression from Saeed he was in sort of 2 minds, but now you're leaning towards running him?
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, Saeed doesn't have to decide for another week. Obviously, he has Dubai Thunder, he has Best Solution. He's in a good position. But I think if he does decide to run him, he'll run very, very well. That was a great run, finishing second in the Dante. He's by Dubai out of a Group 1 winner. And he's a beautiful horse. So fingers crossed, and we'll just see what side decides over the course of the next few days.
He seems to have a really nice temperament, Ben Battle. He doesn't seem to know when he's beaten. He keeps on trucking on.
He does. He just would probably need to settle a little bit more in his early in his races. He's full of enthusiasm, but I think that's just enthusiasm, no more than that. I think he's a horse with whatever happens, wherever Saeed decides to run him. I think he's a horse with a really exciting future.
I know, I agree, and Dubai Thunder has a very exciting future. You've made a few comparisons with Lamtara, or a few people have. I guess the issue for him is going to be this inexperience.
Yes, absolutely, and but again, he's by Dubai, and he's a brother to Far, who won the Champion Stakes, so he's got the pedigree to do the job. He proved at Newbury he's a top class horse in the sense that he's gone and won in devastating fashion. And although you could argue that the Derby comes quite soon, there's only one Derby, and he could get the job done. So I think he's a horse again that needs to be seriously considered.
And for most of your team, ground isn't too much of a worry. They're all quite versatile, would you say?
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. Because of course the other, Best Solution is a horse that won really well the Lingfield Derby trial and proved that he stays. And he's a horse that I think will go in it. He won a group race at the tail end of last year, so he's proven his class. And I think. He won't worry about the ground. And then finally, Best of Days, I think he'd love a bit of juice in the ground. He won the Royal Lodge, as you know, and the ground was on the easy side that day. So I think I really do believe we've got 5 great chances, and there's not one making up the numbers. They're there because they deserve to be there.
What did you make of Best of Days this morning?
I was pleased with him. He worked with Kid Me Never, who's a horse rated 102, who goes for the Wolverton on the Saturday of Ascot. So it wasn't an easy gallop. It was a strong, solid gallop, which is what Best of Days needed and what Hugo wanted. And Michael Hill said that he quickened past him. He quickened past Kid Me Never very, very well. And I think we'll see what Hugo says. But again, the next 10 days will be crucial for him. But if he comes out of them well, I think he's got a great shot.
And if Best Solution were to win, that would be vindication for wintering in Dubai, something which sort of goes back to the very start of Godolphin.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, I think there's no one doubts that. I mean, we've got some lovely horses who wintered in Dubai, Best Solution and Thunder Snow, who will probably go to Ireland at the weekend for the Guineas. So there's no question in anybody's mind that wintering in Dubai is very, very good for horses.
You mentioned Thunder Snow there. Has anything come to light from Kentucky?
No, absolutely nothing at all. Horses aren't machines, and they do funny things, and obviously it was extraordinary at the time, but I think as we all commented at the time, it's probably something we'll never find the reason for, and listen, he'll probably be fine now for the rest of the year, but it was an extraordinary thing, and put it down to experience.
He's made a name for himself anyway, and he'll go over to Ireland slightly under the radar, but he's got the ability, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Churchill obviously is running, and obviously he's a tough nut to crack, and I suspect that he'll be the only other Group 1 winner in the field. So, again, he's a high-class horse, and he's got a big ask to beat Churchill. But this game is about competition. You've got to give it a go.
And speaking of that, you had a great weekend, Hawkbill and Ribchester. What's the thinking for those two now? I know it's early days since they ran.
Well, no, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, really. Hawkbill was a Group 1 winner on the soft ground in the Eclipse last year. He's gone out and put up a Group 1 performance on Saturday. you know, and I think everybody knows that the ground is the key, because as William said when he came in, you know, Hawkbill is one of the very few horses that can actually quicken in soft ground. And so I think, you know, he deserves to run predominantly in Group 1s this year. There's one Group 2 coming up on French Derby Day called the Grand Prix de Chantilly, which is a 1.5 mile Group 2 in Chantilly, and if they have some juice, you could think about going there. And then obviously if Ascot came up soft, you'd go there, but there's absolutely no point running him on quick ground. And so we'll look after him, and hopefully he'll be a horse that can do the job for Sheikh Mohammed for many years to come. And then Ribchester, well, I thought he was very special, and I suspect he'll go for the Queen Anne.